Mamba from Bros Gaming for You, coming at you with a video about what might be the new subclass coming out in Lightfall and what might be coming in the future for the next uh, few seasons that we get and what might be the direction Bungie's going with Destiny. And I saw a video yesterday talking about a poison subclass, which I think would be pretty cool, especially with the whole Egregor and stuff like that of how it works, how it's like an impure form of darkness, just like stasis was an impure form of darkness. That we were gifted, that we were able to get a gift from it. You know, we were able to take it, harness it for ourselves, but not become corrupted by darkness. I think that in the next few seasons, we will see either a poison subclass, a egregore subclass, or an ability that we can use like our artifact, like a physical manifestation of our artifact that we get to actually use, like how we have the scythe this season. It's very something we can actually use in combat. I think the poison one would be very, very cool and interesting to look at and work out with, especially with how we already have a lot of damage over time. Things such as Scorch now, Void, we had volatile rounds. You shoot enough rounds into someone, they exploded. Scorch now, they ignite, make this massive, massive explosion. I think Poison would actually be a more subtle, better subclass for that because you can keep damaging them over time and it wouldn't be like a huge explosion of spores or something like that, but you could stack and do extreme damage. And I saw an article on Forbes about the new subclasses, and one of them was Poison. I think it would be something cool to look into, and hopefully they actually do something like that because as much as I like Solar and Arc and Void, I'm not a huge fan of Stasis. That's my personal opinion. It definitely is something that I think would lend well to the Destiny universe, especially with how all these guns have certain, these exotics at least have this lore behind it, and we have the new Elon shell for Ghost that has a huge lore behind it with Egregor and the Drifter and Eris. I think it would be pretty cool to have a poison subclass, um, just like the game Outriders has a Technomancer, which you actually can have a subclass, not a subclass, but a build in there that does nothing but toxic damage, over time damage. It weakens the enemy, it makes them slower, it hurts them a lot, and it also helps and builds on other people's classes to do more damage over time, or these massive explosive damage over time. And I think it'd be something really cool if Destiny created a poison subclass that wasn't like outright damage, but a support subclass. Because right now we all have is Void for the Titan as a support, and then you have Well of Radiance for Solar. But like Hunters, for example, you have good ad clearing, but that's about it. I mean, yeah, Night Stalker does a good amount of control, but like I'd rather take a Well of Radiance or a Bubble over the Night Stalker, as much as it can do a proc damage and help a lot of damage over time. You get Weapons of Light, Well of Radiance, and all those other things that can proc together. It does so much more over time, especially with the new Solar 3.0 having Blade Barrage being this massive damage. Just, I mean, boom, let's go. I think having a support subclass specifically with poison would be really cool. Like you could have a toxic trait that comes in, and basically you unload into the boss with these like toxic rounds, or you throw like a spore bomb or something like that at the target and makes them just ooze and they can't do as much damage. Basically, just having a weakness on them, not permanently for like about like 20 seconds, and then you have Solar 3.0, Arc 3.0, and Void 3.0 just waylay them in. And the support class being poison would definitely be something that like a requirement now, because one thing I've noticed over my time playing video games, especially Destiny, World of Warcraft, Outriders, all these different games that I play, Destiny doesn't have a constant need for a rotation. It's you build this class that one person figured out and was like, this does a billion damage, and then everybody follows that class. And yeah, you can burn down bosses really quickly, but I think if we're gonna have a cool raid, a good way to go about that would be to have like how World of Warcraft has their dungeons and their raids. You gotta have healers, you gotta have tanks, you gotta have support. I think a good way to go about that would be to have a support class, a permanent support class that you could be like, hey, listen, I need a Wall of Radiance so that we don't die when we're going against the boss. And then we have a support class that puts a toxic trait on the boss. And then you have your damage, your DPS, go in, knock out the boss, go on the next place. That's one thing that's always bothered me about Destiny is there was never like a core group that you needed. I always loved that about World of Warcraft, and especially in the higher tiers, in the higher level dungeons. Yeah, you could tank and DPS your way through certain things with certain subclasses, but you need to be really good at it. Destiny is very straightforward, very, hey, here you go, you are a quintessential space Jesus, and now you're gonna go do these missions, get this weapon, get this exotic, go watch this guy, he knows what he's doing, and go forward from there. I think it should be a bit more, it should be expanded upon that. You know, you need to have a guy who knows how to, what perfect time to cast Well of Radiance. A guy who knows what time to put on the toxic trait, not put on the toxic trait, or a weakness effect or a debuff on them. And then you have the bubble just in case something is about to nuke you to death. Boom, you're good to go. I think Destiny would benefit from having a support subclass, a permanent support subclass that could do massive amounts of debuff damage on a boss to help the DPS and the healer and the tank, quintessentially, and it would bring the whole kind of thing together in a cohesive unit. That also brings me to another point about having strikes being like a 5-man team, and you could basically, instead of you have 3, you have 4 or 5, and now you can do these, I would say, bigger strikes to get better loot, because the 3-man strike's cool and all, but you run through them in 5 minutes. All right, yeah, there were certain dungeons in World of Warcraft that you could run through in 5 minutes, but even to this day, it's still like a 10-15 minute dungeon to do. I've ran strikes now with guys who know what they're doing, or even they don't know what they're doing, but they're so buffed up to the max, they just haul off and just kill everybody. So that's my thoughts on what I've been seeing and what I've been hearing and seeing on the internet and people's videos about what a new subclass would be and what they think it should be, and it'd be cool. And there's certain people who are saying it's been confirmed, but it hasn't been confirmed yet. I think that it's time for Destiny and Bungie to be a bit better and on the ball when it comes to strikes, subclasses, creating a supportive subclass, something to really bring everything together and make it a even better game, even though it's already an amazing game. Yeah, there's a lot of grind, but those are my thoughts, and I think I would love to hear people's thoughts on it, because Destiny is in dire need of a new subclass, new content like Taken King. Like, they did a great job on the Witch Queen. That needs to happen again, and I can't wait for Lightfall. I can't wait for the next expansions. I love them dearly. I play them, like right now alone on Steam. I have 1,000 hours on this account, and I can't put the game down, but I definitely feel it when there's times that I just would love to bite into something. So those are my thoughts. I'd love to hear everybody else's thoughts on this. I know I'm probably gonna get some hate for this being clickbait or something like that, and I'm not gonna say this is confirmed. It's not confirmed, but these are my thoughts as a guy who games a lot, would hope to make a career out of this. But I hope you guys enjoy this video. This is my first long video of me talking, especially with me on camera. I bought a camera. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I get to see a new subclass come out. I kind of hope it's poison. I kind of hope it's damage over time, lots of dots, almost like the priest class from World of Warcraft. So I hope to see you guys in the next video. So until then, see you later.